I'm Jason Carter. Physical optimization defines my life. The day I was born, doctors nearly killed me with medical malpractice. They said I'd never walk. I've been proving them wrong for 35 years. It's easier than you think to obtain super optimal health. I've devoted my life to it, and with my help, you can too. I'm Jason Carter, and this is ENZYMENTAL. And welcome to ENZYMENTAL. I'm Jason Carter, and I have a question for all of you right now. How many of you are stressed out? That's right. Every single one of you should be raising your hands right now because all of us are completely stressed out even if we don't really know it. And that stress can easily be blamed on just having too many things to do throughout the day and not getting enough sleep. And those things certainly do factor into the equation, but also it could be because of adrenal exhaustion, which is something that everyone deals with today. So what are the adrenals? The adrenals are the stress response part of the endocrine system, which is your body's network of hormone-producing glands. The adrenals sit on top of your kidneys, and that's actually what the word adrenal actually means, if you break it down. Adrenal, or above kidney. The adrenals are the body's stress-responding glands, and they produce a variety of hormones to maintain balance. So why do we have the adrenals? Primarily to escape a situation that could end our life. For example, like a famine, or a charging wild animal, or a forest fire, or in a more modern context, a burning building. But there are certainly many more daily stresses that we deal with even beyond that. Some of the best known and overproduced adrenal hormones are adrenaline and cortisol. So when faced with a sudden stress, like someone jumps up from behind you and startles you, the adrenals release adrenaline, which is our flight or fight hormone. And when the stress is chronic, such as what you get every day from work, or being stuck in traffic, or relationships, the body overproduces cortisol, and consequently adrenal exhaustion will develop when a person can't make any more cortisol, and that leads to severe fatigue. Today, most people actually deal with this fatigue by over-consuming caffeine, which in turn stimulates the adrenal glands to secrete more adrenaline and cortisol than normally. So what's the problem here? The problem is our interconnected 24/7 hyperkinetic non-stop life taxes this system every day, virtually all day. This is not how it's designed to work. What happens when you run for your life? All your energy is rerouted and repurposed for the lungs and the heart so your muscles can respond instantaneously. Anything non-essential to surviving the moment and surviving the day is shut off. So this would include things like growth, reproduction, adequate digestion, tissue repair. Anything dealing with tomorrow, what I would call a tomorrow hormone, is shut down when cortisol is present in excessive amounts. Cortisol is a right now hormone. This happens with wild animals every day, and humans turn on the same stress response that wild animals do while they're running for their life, and we do it for entirely psychological reasons. We do it for things like we're stressed out about our mortgages, our taxes, or that brow beating you got from your boss yesterday morning, and we're doing this, unlike animals, non-stop every day. I've said many times that we treat our adrenals the way a boxer treats a speed bag. They're not designed for that. They're designed for releasing adrenaline and cortisol when you need it. So eventually the constant stress response, this ongoing constant requirement of the adrenal glands, becomes more damaging than the actual stressor itself, because the stressor was some psychological stimuli that you believe to be of critical importance. And it's been said many times that no wild animal on Earth running for its life would ever understand why the traffic jam you're currently stuck in would cause you to secrete the same hormones it's using to save its life. So again, what we've done here is we've created a constant, unending, low level of chronic stress that is far more damaging than one big occasional stressor that you endure, survive, and then relax from. This is why I say everyone has some form of adrenal exhaustion today. Your body will prioritize the need for hormones. So if the need for cortisol exceeds the need for testosterone, like I said before, the body will suppress testosterone to build cortisol. Excessive cortisol for long periods of time can damage and destroy brain neurons in the hypothalamus, leading to hormone problems. And this can include things like, again, low testosterone or estrogen, low thyroid function, impaired melatonin production, it's hard to burn fat. There's a range of things that can happen when excessive cortisol affects the brain and the hormone balance throughout the body. So the top symptoms of adrenal exhaustion often include fatigue, dizziness when standing up, excessive trouble sleeping, frequent bouts of low blood sugar, which that alone will cause mood and memory problems right there, and muscle aches and pains, typically in the upper back, arms, and legs, and an increasing dependence on caffeine, but this also certainly includes sugar and often salty foods, and a cold feeling throughout the day, even on a hot sunny day. And adrenal exhaustion can even manifest as things like food and chemical sensitivities, abdominal cramps, and as I said, waking up after 8 or more hours of sleep, but still feeling exhausted. So we're going to talk a lot about the adrenals in the next several weeks, but for right now, this is what I want you to take away from this. Anything you can do to reduce your stress would really be helpful, and there are many things you can do for that. The first thing I would do is, if you can, try to ditch, or at the very least, reduce your caffeine consumption. And if you've been listening to these videos the past several weeks, you know that I've given you several natural alternatives to caffeine that really provide real energy. Caffeine withdrawal will give you a lot of side effects that I've detailed in an earlier video called What's Wrong with Caffeine, but it might be several weeks to maybe a month or two of being off caffeine before those side effects really begin to subside, because caffeine is such a drug and we're so dependent on it. But this is really one of the best ways to take pressure off the adrenals. There are many natural nutrients and supplements you can take to support the adrenals, but one of the first and one of the best ways is to make sure that you are eating regularly. You're going to hear me say this a lot. You need to eat regularly to support the adrenals, because when you skip meals, and I said last week to you guys that I am not a fan of intermittent fasting. When you skip meals, your brain does not care what your reason is. It can be for religion, or I'm just too damn busy to eat today. Your brain doesn't care what your reason for skipping meals is. We are hardwired to survive times of famine. This is something that we've developed as hunter-gatherers and such, so our body is very knowledgeable as far as what to do when food is scarce. So today we don't live in a world where food is scarce anymore. We're actually dealing with an overabundance of food, something that is very new to the human experience. But when you skip meals, that puts your body into basically phase 1 of starvation, which when that happens, the brain will prioritize the nutrients. So basically, the body gives the brain and the heart what it needs, but it slows down most other processes. So eating regularly, like eating something every 2 to 3 hours while you're awake, ideally something that will balance your blood sugar, like protein, fat, or fiber. And again, fiber is raw vegetables and fruit. It's not bread and pasta. This is something that will maintain healthy adrenal function, because when your blood sugar is stable, this keeps the body in a balanced state. So if you're skipping meals, like far too many people do, like I used to do when I used to work in the media for many years, and drinking way too much caffeine, whether it's sodas or coffee or wherever you get your caffeine from, then both of those are just incredible stressors for the adrenals. And there are many other things that really tax the adrenals, and we're going to get into that in the next few weeks as we go deeper into adrenal exhaustion. So for right now, remember, keep your blood sugar stable, eat regularly, try to focus on eating smaller portions of food more frequently throughout the day. This is actually what the real paleo diet is all about. Forget about the whole trendy paleo diet fad and all the paleo products that say they're paleo. And well, the real paleo diet is you're on the move all day, you're nomadic, you're eating 30 to 40 to 50 little tiny meals a day, because what you're eating is nuts and seeds, roots, tubers, grass, leaves, nuts, berries. So you have to eat several times a day because the amount you're eating on a time per time basis is so small. And that's actually the best way to eat, because we're natural grazers, and if you do that, that gives the body a constant supply of nutrition on a moderate basis, and that balances the blood sugar, and that will balance the adrenals. That's one way to do it. That's probably one of the easiest ways, because we all have to eat every day. So focus on that, guys, for now, and we're going to get into a lot more about the adrenals in the next few weeks. but for right now, keep your blood sugar stable. And also a couple basic nutrients you might want to look into for healthy adrenal function that every health food store in the world will carry are vitamin C and pantothenic acid, which is also known as vitamin B5. Every vitamin B complex will have B5 or pantothenic acid, but taking a little extra B5 or pantothenic acid with your vitamin C will really help out. And I start with these two nutrients because, again, every health food store in the world will carry these two basic nutrients for supporting the adrenals. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.